A massive day ahead, and we're joined for all of it with Jamie O'Hara, Jay Bothroyd and Clinton Morrison. Good afternoon to you. Three magnificent men. Right, let's start with the story dominating the headlines, the fallout between Mohamed Salah and Jurgen Klopp. The two had a heated exchange on the touchline just after West Ham equalised, and Salah told journalists in a brief exchange in the mix zone after the game, "If I speak, there will be fire." Right, OK, let's start with that then, Jay. What did you make of it?
Well, I mean, look, first and foremost...
talking to me, mate.
Yeah, is it Jay or Jay? Jay or Jay? Jamie, Jay?
I hadn't...
You have to get this sorted early, didn't you?
I hadn't kind of thought that through in my head. OK, now, to be clear, Jay, Jamie.
Right, OK. Oh, that's hard.
You go.
You may as well start now.
Yeah, go on, you go.
You go.
I mean, look, it's not ideal. It's the two stars of Liverpool, Salah and Klopp. Obviously, they've frustrated in where the club's gone and how the season's finishing. And I think it's obviously overspilled onto the touchline. And look, Salah's not happy being benched, is he? You know, he's been benched. He's not been in great form. I think it was a little bit disrespectful from Klopp to even bench him in the first place. The man's done unbelievable things for his football club. And I think you've got to play his way back into form. The season's over. They can't win the league now. They were too far behind. The results against Everton kills him. But that situation there looks really, really poor. And I think Mo Salah's really saying to him, "How are you benching me and you're giving me 12 minutes at the end of the game after they've just scored? Come on, I'm Mo Salah. I've done enough in this team to deserve to be playing, even when, you know, I've not been playing at my best."
Yeah, I agree with that completely, actually. And to the point where, as well, I think he might have said something really disrespectful, like, "You've been shocking, that's why you're on the bench." Because I've never seen Salah react like that before. He's been kicked all over the place. He's argued with referees, but that kind of reaction, I've never seen that before. And, you know, like Jamie said, I think he's got a point because, you know, he's their talisman, he scores goals. It is, you know, the end for Liverpool. They're not going to, you know, win the league. So I don't see why he wouldn't be playing him and saying, you know what, maybe you can get back into form, play your way into form, score a goal, whatnot. But I think that reaction there...
I really want to know what they're saying to each other.
Exactly. I want him to come out. I want him to give fire. I want to hit... Whenever it comes out, there's going to be fire. Whenever it comes out, because... Like we said, Salah don't really speak out that much. He's a quiet guy. He goes about his business. But that there is a reaction that I've never seen before.
There's going to be fire in here when the North London derby kicks off. I can
see that. I'm just here to referee already. That's why I'm here. Special guest.
You said.
Nah, I'm just watching.
Clinton, with Salah, what's it like when... Salah's been Liverpool's, I think it's fair to say, best player along with Virgil van Dijk for several years now. I've always got a fantastic manager in Jurgen Klopp. When you are that key to a club and suddenly you find yourself on the bench, what is that like?
No, of course, yeah, it's disappointing. I think Jay and Jamie make really good points. Even he's not in brilliant form at the moment. I was at the Merseyside derby. He's missing big chances. Problem is Salah still got those numbers. The reason you're noticing it now is because the other two are not scoring. Before, when he had Bobby Firmino and Mane, it's all right. These two, Diaz and Nunez, are missing big chances, and everything gets put on Mohamed Salah. So that exchange, yeah, it didn't look good. We don't know what was said. It's disappointing he's not playing, because even if they had a slight chance against West Ham, you need your best players on the pitch. So I feel that's frustrated. And I don't... You know what, though? Me personally, now, I don't see Salah being at Liverpool next season.
Yeah, definitely not. But one thing I would say about Salah right now, this is just me looking from my point of view. When he was playing before and he was on fire and he's scoring goals, he's been great. But I think now, the last couple of years, it's started to creep in where if he doesn't score, he doesn't do much. And I think that's probably why Klopp said, "Listen, you're not scoring your goals. That's why I'm putting you on the bench." And I think from that point of view, he has a point. Yeah. As in, you know, even though he gets assists, sometimes he don't defend as well as he should. He doesn't get involved in the play as much as he should. I'm not sure if Klopp's saying, "I need you to be more disciplined and stand up right more," because when he's not getting the ball, he seems to drift a lot.
Well, I'll throw this to you and Jay then. So say that's a big game for Liverpool. They need to win. You got to play your best player, don't you? Salah, even if he's out of form, because how are you going to get back into form?
Exactly. I think you have to play him. I think for me, he's still... Yeah, he's not been great, but for me, he's still the star player in the team. And in big moments, you want your big players on the football pitch. He's fit. And you need to play him. He's been injured, he's come back, and he's still probably maybe trying to find his feet. He's frustrated. You know, he wants to win the league. He's wanted to fight out for the title. And I think now what we've seen is the frustration of the season coming to really a bitter end. And maybe the pair of them, we know Jurgen Klopp's going, it might be the end of Salah as well. You know, he might be going to Saudi in the summer. And he wanted to finish the season, you know, with heroics. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And frustrated.
One thing I would say, though, back to my point with this reaction here, and I can see why Klopp might take him out of the team, is because when you look at Luis Diaz, if he doesn't score, the amount of hard work that he puts into in a game is unbelievable. And I feel like he looks at that and then he says, well, Mo, why aren't you doing the same kind of thing?
I know a player on here who's had that reaction to a manager.
Are we all looking at him?
I'm looking at him. Who's that?
You're going to have to explain, otherwise Clinton will explain it.
I don't know what happened. I know Jay was a bit of a hothead. Let's move on.
He might slightly twist the story if
We've both been in those situations, haven't we? We've both been in those situations.
Did you throw your shirt at the manager or something?
I've never thrown my shirt at
That was my younger years, isn't
it? He was young.
I've been a bit controversial, don't get me wrong.
Everyone has, mate.
Listen, if I'm Salah, I'd probably have that same reaction if I'm honest. Yeah. But when you look at it, it just doesn't look good for him. He's been a talisman. Klopp, obviously, he's leaving and he's been fantastic. He's a legend at the club. And then you can't help but think now that Salah's going to move on.
Oh, for sure. I think Jamie hit the nail on the head. I think he will be playing in the Saudi Pro League next season for sure.
You all think they'll go at the end of the season? I mean, 17 goals he's still got for Liverpool.
Remember, he's 31 and he's
1 year left.
1 year left. So
and
big money comes. Yeah.
But as well, from a Liverpool point of view, I'd be wanting to sell him. I'm sorry, like, even though he's done heroics and he's been fantastic, I'd be wanting to get as much money as I can for him. His salary's huge as well. I'd be wanting to get him off the books and bring some other people in, some young, obviously you've got to replace them goals, but I would be thinking about that from a business point of view as well.
Well, they have to replace the manager as well. Arne Slot is the man that Liverpool are after. It seems to be progressing on this one. What did you make of that news when it broke, Clinton?
I was surprised. I know he's done a good job at Feyenoord, but they're not winning that league this season. They're not winning the league over there, so they're second at the moment. So, but I think that his DNA, the way he wants to play, I think that's what Michael Edwards has looked at and thought we might make that decision. He's good at bringing youngsters through. Liverpool have a lot of talented young, and he likes to play out from the back. But they're big shoes to fill. We've still seen that at Man United. No one, and I know it's different. No one ain't filled Sir Alex Ferguson's shoes. So who's going to come in and fill Jurgen Klopp? There you go. So it's So it's going to listen. I wish him well. I wish him all the best. But it's a huge football club he's going into. So and it's a massive job for him. But you can't turn it down. You get an opportunity to go and manage a big football club like Liverpool. So good luck to him.
Yeah, he clearly wants the job, Jamie. Do you think he's the right manager for the job?
Well, we'll see, won't we? I mean, as Clinton said, it's a massive job. And, look, I'll be honest, I don't know a huge amount about him. I know he plays good football. But, Erik ten Hag dominated it with Ajax, didn't he, in that league. And he's come to Man United and really struggled. So it's a big step up being a manager and, being at Feyenoord and Ajax and coming to manage the biggest club in England with Liverpool, Man United. So we will see. The era's coming to an end at Liverpool. Players are going to want. Is Van Dijk going to be there? Is Salah going to be there? Yes, they've got some young talent coming through, but Liverpool need to fight out at the top of the table, and he's got a big job on his hands and big boots to fill. Pressure's going to be on from day one.
I don't think he's the right guy for the job, if I'm honest. I feel like we've seen a lot of Dutch managers come into the Premier League and they've been underwhelming. I think, if anything, I thought De Zerbi might get a shout because, like you said, even though he plays out from the back, at least De Zerbi's got the experience of the Premier League. No disrespect to the Brighton players, but he's absolutely made the most of them players. He's got everything he can get out of those players. He's turned Dunk into an international. Matoma, he's turned him into a world beater when he was fit. Adingra's, top quality in Cisco. And obviously he brings through some youngsters too. So for me, I was looking at De Zerbi as maybe the manager that will go to Liverpool. And as well, I feel like he suits their DNA, as in the high press, hard work. And that's what Klopp's obviously, done in the past. So I think now Man United should be looking at De Zerbi because they're very underwhelming. They don't work hard. Their body language is shocking. Yeah. Someone like him would liven it up.
Well, we'll get to Manchester United later on in the show. But Klopp's still in charge at the moment, Jane. And when you look at their stats in terms of chances created and goals scored in recent weeks, they've really dropped off. What do you put that down to?
I mean, they have had injuries this season. Luis Diaz had, a terrible incident with his dad. That obviously took toll on him, stifled his form. but I would put it down to tiredness. I think the Europa League has really taken toll on them. They've had some shocking results, especially the Atlanta one. Even though they won the second leg, it was done. And Atlanta really outplayed them. So I look at that. You've got one of the most wasteful strikers in the Premier League in Nunez. He's one of them. I mean, Clint, you would know.
Yeah,
for me, I look at him and say, he's a shooter, he's not a finisher. As in, he'll score, when he don't have to think about a chance, he'll score it and everyone will say, amazing goal. But the one that he has time to think about where he's going to put the ball, like he goes around the keeper and hits a post. He'll try and do things like, there was a chance, I forgot the game, where he could have slotted it and he's tried to loop it over the keeper again and it's gone out for a goal kick. I feel like those kind of situations can change games. They can get Liverpool back in form. But, you know, I look at them and I just say they've been very wasteful from that point of view.
I just maybe think they're maybe not good enough.
The players...
Well, the players are just not good enough. I mean, you know, like, no, it's true, because you're trying to play against Manchester City, who have got the best players on the pitch and on the bench. When you look at Liverpool's team, like, Gakpo, for me, is not good enough. Javier, I really like him, he's a good player. But he ain't Phil Foden. Do you know what I mean? He's not Doku. You know, so when you're constantly having to compete against Manchester City to fight it out at the top of the title, when it's got to the business end of the season, they've fallen short. Arsenal done it last season. When it gets to the business end of the season, they fall short. Yes, they're tired. Yes, there's injuries. Maybe they're just not good enough. And that's the problem you've got. You've got Manchester City, who are the best team in the world, with the best players and the best squad. And sometimes you're just not quite there.
Clinton, this was going to be a transitional year because, I mean, the whole midfield left, etc. But now that Klopp's leaving as well, do they get another transitional year next year because the manager's changing?
Well, you're going to have to, and you're going to lose players. As we're talking about them losing some of their star players, you're going to have to, you know, their recruitment is going to be massive, and that's why I think Edwards going in there is massive, alongside obviously Richard Hughes, who was doing that job at Bournemouth. So it's going to be hard, and because you're going to have to see who can go and who they can bring in, and they're going to have to give the manager time. He's got to go in there, implement his style and stuff. So it's going to take time. You don't want to be losing players like Salah and Van Dijk though, because they're still key for me. Van Dijk's still one of the best defenders there is in world football, no matter what anyone says. So you want to keep those kind of players, and you want to build. But I still think if they do sell Salah, they'll go young. And as Jay said, look in the young market and try and develop them.
They rebuilt the midfield quite well. With Endo's done well.
He has done well.
And McAllister as well.